The movements themselves are decent, but the order in which they're placed throughout the workout is quite questionable, to be honest. Look at us cranking out multiple uploads in a week these days. It's getting crazy, isn't it? Hopefully you're tolerating them because I'm having a good time. And hopefully you're having a good time because I'm not only am I here for a good time, I'm also here for a long time. So today's video is a little bit more informative. It's more of a reviewing technique video. So I basically go through the technique of an influencer or content creator and basically say this is good, this could be improved, things like that. And hopefully you can take something away from it and ideally apply it to your own training. And today we're looking at the KK Fit twins, which I have covered in a workout series beforehand, but now I'm gonna do more of a dive into them and their technique as individuals or as twins. But obviously before we crack on, it is hat time. They don't seem to make headwear like this in adult male sizes. But wait, I know what you're thinking. God, Harry, that's a great piece of headwear you've got on. And you know what, you would be completely right. It is a great piece of headwear. Thank you for acknowledging that and appreciating that. But you know what's even better? Oh yes, it came with this. So obviously, you know, I'm going I feel like the fairy godmother. I'm not hitting people, by the way. I'm casting spells. Just want to clarify, I'm not. But that's it, now that's on, we can crack on with the video, and we're going to look at Kathryn and Kendra. And I have spoken very highly of them regarding their strength, but now we're actually going to do more of a deep dive into how they're actually lifting. So here we have the bench press, a movement that not many content creators, especially those who identify as female, actually include in their workouts. I feel like a big goal for many is lower body dominant. And the bench press isn't a massively desirable movement in the eyes of many. It's an upper body based movement. It's very much for the chest, shoulders and triceps. Technically, they're pretty sound. I know I've spoken about this before regarding arching. So if you see here, her lower back is a bit arched. Ideally, you want to try and push that arch more towards the thoracic spine, so a bit higher up, mid back sort of thing, because that then bumps the chest up a bit higher, which means you can essentially decrease range of motion while still actually achieving the full range of motion. That's very much a powerlifting technique that I'm carrying over from my powerlifting days when I did used to do this because bench was my ting. Retract the scapula, so you pin your shoulder blades back, then you tuck them into your back pockets, so you go back, down, bump your chest up. You've now created a stable arch where your chest is now higher. Your shoulders are in a much safer position. No, arching is not bad for your back. I can only get to there with flared elbows and no real chest bump. As soon as I tuck my elbows in slightly and pull my shoulder blades back and bump my chest up, I'm now in line with my chest. I can touch my chest. Although I'm technically decreasing range of motion, I'm still completing the full range of motion, and I'm doing so in a manner that allows my body to reach that range of motion more comfortably and naturally. Don't stress about flaring the elbows. That's a bad time. As I said before, obviously it limits range of motion, but also it has the potential to jack up your shoulders and potentially your pecs pretty bad. We don't want that because the last thing you want is a muscle tear or an injury in general, because that's not a good time. Because, as I said before, not only am I here for a good time and a long time, you want training to be here for a good time and a long time too. So rather than just benching like so, but obviously I know it's very narrow, so it's not a great representation. I almost try and twist, so I almost try and get these pinkies together. So I'm literally like trying to twist the bar like that. Obviously the bar's not going to bend. That's what you want to imagine. Essentially bend the bar, rotate the pinkies, and that then causes the elbows to rotate as well, which then helps you obviously tuck everything in. So the elbows are nice and tucked in. The wrists are still in line with the elbows, which is a good time. Even loading. But as a whole, her technique's pretty decent. Those are just a few points that I would personally potentially change. The wrist to elbow load is good. Obviously, it's all one line. The elbows are tucked in, which is good. She's not flaring. So she's got some solid technique. And she's lifting some solid weight. I respect that. Very quickly, just 1 minute of your time before we carry on with the rest of the video. If you do like these videos where I essentially analyze the technique of influencers or content creators and give my suggestions, please let me know you like the video by dropping a like on the video. And if we can get 300 likes on the video, I will obviously make more videos like this. If you haven't already, please do consider subscribing to the channel. It would mean the world to me. I would appreciate it a lot, and it really does help out the channel. Obviously, there's a bell next to it, so if you do click that, you will get notified when I upload multiple times each week. And at the end of the video, we have comment question of the week, in which I answer a question from the comment section. Drop it down below, and I shall answer at the end of the next video. I shan't interrupt you any further, and I shall let you carry on with the rest of the video. Lat pull down, another great movement. If you can't do pull-ups especially, it's a great alternative for pull-ups because it is a vertical pull. Again, this is one of the things that I don't feel like you need to go down to the chest if you don't want to or if you aren't able to. I'd always kind of go down to like the chin. So I kind of put the chin up, pull down, and then we're going to about there. Like on the bench press, you want to bump the chest up, pin the shoulders back and down. That will then help you with the contraction of the lats. So when you get to the top, really stretch out the muscles you're trying to work. Reset, pull it back and down, contract, pinch, stretch. Oh, we love a squat. So she's doing quite a narrow stance squat here, which is going to target the quads a bit more. And she's obviously got her heels elevated on the plate. If you can, I would always say invest in ollie shoes if you need the additional heel height to help you hit depth, or just squat in flat sole shoes like the Converse, as she is doing, because we love to see it. But if you aren't able to, then obviously I understand that you may need an elevated heel to help you hit depth. Oh, split squat. What great range of motion. Oh, we love to see it. Look at this. I guess one call it a Smith machine static lunge, a split squat, whatever you want to call it. Literally tickling the floor with her knee hair, sometimes touching it, which is fine as long as you're not banging your knee on the floor, because that's going to hurt and that's not going to be great for your knees. But that range of motion is solid. Am I a big fan of the Smith machine? I don't love it. Do I use it? My coach does make me sometimes, and I hate him for it, but I'm going to do what he says, otherwise he hurts me emotionally. I prefer free weight movements personally, but the Smith machine does have its purpose. Would I ever squat in the Smith machine, like actual like proper back squat? Probably gonna say no. Would I do something like a split squat? Yes, I would. If you deadlift in the Smith machine, send me a DM. We need to talk. Okay, we have a squat. That's more of a low bar, so it's more like a powerlifting stance. I'm not a fan of the belt she's using. I spoke about this at the end of the Kayla video, but I don't like those Velcro belts. I don't think they provide massive amounts of support. I don't feel like they allow you to really breathe into the belt because they are quite constricting. She's low bar squatting here, so the bar, as you can see, is much lower on her back, so it's across her rear delts. She's a bit more leant forward. She's taking her shoes off because she doesn't want any heel elevation, I assume, which is fine. I would personally low bar squat without any heel elevation too. So that's a lot of weight about that. The depth, I'm unsure. I'm kind of tickly. It's a bad angle. I will give her that. It seems like she's on the cusp. It could go either way. Regardless, that's decent weight, and I'm sure she is hitting depth. I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt there. Wrists and elbows are in one steady line, which is good. She's really keeping the back tight. Your back is your shelf. Please keep your back tight. Don't get lazy with it. Don't get loose. Shoulders going to elevate. It's going to be all over the place. You're going to tip forward. It's not a good time. One of the things I do really appreciate about the Fit Twins, they lift well, they lift heavy, and they really promote a good message when it comes to including compound movements and really overloading and not being afraid to push your limits regarding weight being used. So I do respect that. I do really appreciate that. I think they're, in that sense, great role models regarding encouraging more women into the weight area of the gym. I'm unsure if this is the order she actually did her workout in, but if it is, it's not how I would have ordered things personally. I would have done the squats at the start and moved some other bits around. Oh no, it's not very good. This is, oh no. What's going on with this? Honestly, like, this is not a look. I'm doing it again. I am so sorry. Please don't hate me for this, but the puppy is once again at puppy training because he's gone back to school. Summer school, we'll call it. I know it's bad timing on my behalf, filming the video when the puppy's not here. I'm sorry, please forgive me. You can have the tiara if it'll help you forgive me. I'm keeping the wand because I like the wand. Upper body day, she's doing a rack pull. I know what you're thinking. Oh, Harry, that looks like a partial range of motion deadlift. Essentially is. Do they have a purpose? Yes. Am I a massive fan of them? I don't love them. I don't hate them either. I don't really have much of an opinion on them. If the bar is above your knees, we need to talk. And this is not a good we need to talk. This is a we need to talk. But in many cases, if you are rack pulling with the bar above your knees, you're ego lifting and you're trying to lift a few extra kilos to look good and hardcore in the gym. Sad reality is, which I know I need to hear sometimes, is no one actually cares how much you lift. People are too focused on what they're doing and their training to actually really acknowledge that you're there in many cases. Oh, is it going to be a barbell row? Oh, we like a barbell row. I think they're one of my favorite back movements you can do, or like pull dominant movements. You can do them either underhand grip, overhand grip, whichever you prefer. As you can see, there is a bit of body English involved. She is kind of using a bit of body momentum to help her lift a bit more. I back it. I'm actually there for it. Not on everything, but on movements like this, I'm not opposed to a bit of safe body English to allow you to get some momentum to lift a bit more weight and help you overload. Provided you can do so without increasing the risk of injury, is a good time. It's got to be controlled and intentional, not because you're ego lifting and you're suffering a lot. Okay, she's supersetting pull-ups with eccentric pull-ups, although eccentric pull-ups are great to do if you are struggling with pull-ups and want to get better. Oh, we got deadlift. What are we doing? Sumo deadlift. Good head positioning. She's not looking up, she's looking down where her spine essentially wants her to look. We like that. You can tell back position's good. It does seem that maybe she's going a bit too wide for her mobility and flexibility allowances, in the sense that her knees are very much inwards. Ideally, you want the shins to be as vertical as possible, which then helps with your knees traveling in the direction of your toes. I just want to add, obviously, vertical shins on the sumo deadlift, bit more external rotation of the hips, pushes the knees out, open the hips a bit more, shins will probably be a bit more vertical. I'm not really a big tap and go fan. As I've said before, deadlift, I like to dead stop. Also gives you a chance to essentially re-brace between reps, which many people need to do, I believe. But it's great to see her including movements like this and shifting such impressive weight as well. Straps are used because if you are double overhand gripping, which she is, your grip is going to give out long before your posterior chain gives out. You can hook grip, but that's very painful for rep work. I would only really do it for top set work. You can mix grip, but that then can lead to rotational issues, which then could cause imbalances. Like I said in the Kayla video, doing anti-rotation oblique-based movements do help. I use straps for rep work as well. If I'm going to do reps, I'll just chuck some straps on because I'm not really there to test my grip. I'm there to train the muscles I want to work. Just don't rely on them, because if you do rely on them, your grip strength just falls far too behind. You do need to work on strengthening your grip. So dumbbell shoulder press is a great vertical pressing movement. It does seem like maybe she's cutting reps a bit short here. I do aim for hands in line with the ears usually. A bit low if you can, but don't stress about it. Ultimately, a lot of people think that deadlifting and doing deadlift variations is enough for their hamstrings. Like things like RDLs are great. They're very much eccentric dominant movements rather than concentric dominant movements. A big thing with any hamstring curl variation is ensuring your hips are being driven forward. Don't allow your bum to kick back and lift off. Not what we want. Kind of almost like squeeze the glutes and drive the hips into the pad. Much better for the old hamstring recruitment. I understand in many cases I'm a bit nitpicky and sometimes I might be a bit overly critical. That's purely to provide some informative content so you could hopefully take away from it and be like, you know what, that might actually help what I'm trying to do. As I say, I've always been impressed by the KK Fit Twins training. I think they're doing great stuff. I will do a deep dive on them in the future if you would like to see it regarding their program, because I do have some of their programs and things along those lines, and whether this could be an interesting one, whether I believe they're nattier enhanced, because I know that question does come up quite a lot regarding them. So if you want my take on that, let me know and I shall provide. Good technique as a whole, bloody strong, great movement selection. Now that's done, it's time for comment question of the week. Courtney asks, I reached a new PB on my sumo deadlift yesterday. That's fantastic. Well done, Courtney. I'm proud of you, that's good stuff. But I have a terrible habit of getting bruised shins and knees after deadlifting. Do I need to tweak my technique to avoid this, or do I need to cop some knee sleeves / wear long socks on lifting days? Bruised knees, I think, is potentially more of a technique tweak. The bruised shins, unfortunately, is part of the process. I think Stefanie said a good deadlift will leave you with bruises and cuts and scars, because obviously the closer the bar is to the body, in many cases, the better. If you're trying to hold the bar further away from you, your deadlift PB is going to feel a lot heavier, I'll tell you that. And it also risks compromising your back positioning. If you do feel comfortable doing so, drop me a message on Instagram, maybe sending me some videos of you sumo deadlifting. Front on, angled on, side on. I can have a look, see if any technical adjustments do need to be made, in my opinion. We could talk about it and work on your sumo deadlift together if you so wish, but don't feel pressured to. Just know that if you would like to, the offer is there. I think Mark answered this quite well underneath this comment, and he basically said, get socks. They're not a bad idea. But that's it. That's the video. As I said at the start of the video, obviously 300 likes on the video. I would really appreciate it. If you haven't already, please click the subscribe button down below. I would love you forever and beyond, and it does really help the channel out. It does mean the world to me, and I do appreciate you for doing so. And obviously click the bell next to it so you get notified when I upload multiple times each week. And obviously if you have a question you want me to answer for comment question of the week at the end of the next video, drop it down below in the comment section and I shall do so. But hopefully you enjoyed the video, and hopefully you took something away from this video, and hopefully you can apply some of what I said to your own training. Whether you agree or disagree with what I had to say in the video, I really appreciate you for watching and giving me your time. So thank you for tolerating the video.